inside. I thought you'd like it cold. Yeah, but you have the place freezing with the aircon, Cathy said. You know it's bad for the environment. So, how's school? Constance asked, changing the subject. She knew Cathy was right, but she couldn't bear the heat in Arizona. Even at this time of year, before the full brunt of the summer hit. Cathy shrugged. Fine. She sipped her smoothie, outlining her lips in deep purple. So, apart from Lisa, who else are you friends with? Cathy stared at her. How cold the blue of her eyes were. Just like her father's could be sometimes. What's with the interrogation? I was just asking you about your friends. It's hardly an interrogation. You're always asking me questions about who I'm hanging out with, where I'm going. You're so controlling. Constance felt stung. I'm just interested in your life, she said in a weak voice. Whatever. Cathy got up, leaving her half-drunk smoothie on the table. It's too bitter, she explained. I'm going out. Where? Constance asked before she could stop herself. Say, there you go again, her daughter said in exasperation. But you're not even 16, and this is America. I need to know you're safe. I'm going to Lisa's, okay? We've a math test tomorrow. We're going to study together. Shall I drive you? Just leave me alone, will ya? Cathy stormed out the room. One time, Constance followed Cathy all the way to Lisa's house, creeping behind trees and fences like some kind of stalker. But she had to make sure her daughter was going exactly where she said she was. Constance tries her best not to question Cathy too much. She has to trust her. Because she remembers how much she resented the fact that her own mother had never trusted her when she was Cathy's age. Still, no matter how patient Constance tries to be, it feels as if her very existence infuriates her 15-year-old daughter. The best thing is not to push Cathy to talk. Constance read that in a magazine. She prays Cathy will come back to her as she gets older. She tries not to let it bother her, but it feels as if her daughter doesn't like her anymore. Blames Constance for the fact that Daniel has hardly ever been around the past few months. She explained to Cathy that her father was busy in his new job as a realtor, working long hours for his brother, Liam, trying to provide for them. But she had suspected otherwise. For a while, she tried to ignore all the signs that Daniel was unfaithful because she hadn't wanted to acknowledge her marriage was over. All she wanted was her little girl back, to be a family again. But over the last couple of weeks, she's realized there is no hope of that now. It is only 3 days ago since her suspicions were confirmed and she found out for certain her husband was having an affair. She hasn't slept since. Sitting up in bed, her body slick with sweat, unable to shake the dread in the pit of her belly. What if Cathy insists on living with Daniel and the other woman? Constance would be left all on her own. No husband and no daughter. A lonely ex-wife in a place where she doesn't belong. The idea of it makes her feel wild with rage. Constance takes a breath, tries to quell her trembling limbs. She dries her hands on a piece of kitchen roll. Opening the drawer, she takes out a plaster and seals a tiny cut with it. She has to keep on going. Stay busy for Cathy's sake. She picks up another glass, rolls its cold contours against her even colder cheeks. The motion soothes her. She stares across her backyard at the house on the other side and wills a light to go on, but it remains in darkness. Constance steps back from the sink and leans against the wall, the small of her back, her palms, her heels pressed.